Hi, this is Jeremy Kellett, Director of Recruiting here at Oakley Trucking, and I'm your host for this podcast. This is episode number 76. So on today's podcast, since this being Truck Driver Appreciation Week, we're going to do a Truck Driver Appreciation podcast. How about that? So we've got some guys lined up, and I've got sets of questions here to ask them about Truck Driver Appreciation Week, and I'm interested in some answers and what they got to tell us. It's going to be guys in the office, dispatchers, operation managers, and really looking forward to sitting down and visiting with them and talking to you about Truck Driver Appreciation Week. I think you're going to really, really enjoy some of these answers that these guys are going to give on some of these questions. So, I was thinking about doing this podcast, and I was looked up just what the word appreciation means. I think we all know what it means, but I look it up and just to see what it says, and it says a feeling or expression of admiration, approval, or gratitude. That pretty sums it up for me, because I can tell you I admire what you do as a truck driver, definitely approve of it, and am sincerely grateful for what you guys do and what you provide this company and this country. So let's get started with this podcast on Truck Driver Appreciation Week. And my first guest I've got lined up hanging out with me is Mr. Jason Webb. How you doing this morning?
Good afternoon. Doing good. Doing real good.
You've been on the podcast before, haven't you?
I have. I was trying to think. I think my last time I was on here was episode 10 or 12. So
I don't even remember what we talked about.
I don't either. I hope we've gotten a lot better. I know you guys have gotten a whole lot better. I hope I've kept up. I might still be down in AA ball. But
no, you're doing good. You're a natural at it.
But no, I do listen to them a lot, and they've just gotten better and better. So I'm excited to be on here.
Well, I'm glad you came, because it means a lot
you bet.
To volunteer to answer some of these questions and get on this podcast. Not everybody wants to. So, and speaking of past episodes, I throw this in there before we get started real quick is, man, I encourage you to go back and listen to some of the episodes that we've done in the past. I had a guy come in yesterday and told me, said, hey, y'all need to do one on the history of Bruce Oakley. And I said, that's a great idea. I said, we did. Very first one we did on history. With Justin. I said, with Justin. But I said, we do need to do another one, I think, and update it a little bit. So, it was, I appreciate the input that guy gave me. Matter of fact, that was Art Garland that was in here yesterday. He gave me that idea. So we're going to try to do that in the future. But I'm serious about going back and listening to some of the episodes. We got some great information that still pertains today, with shop talk, with talking to dispatch, with, all kinds of episodes. Go back there and check them out. And then plus we got some really good ones coming up that you're going to be interested in. So keep us in tune every week, man. We really appreciate it here on the Oakley Podcast. So, all right, Mr. Brother Webb, let's talk about some Truck Driver Appreciation Week.
You bet.
I got a set of questions here I want to ask you and see what you think about them. So the first one is, what do owner-operators mean to our business?
Well, the simple short answer is everything we do here, any success we have, starts and ends with owner-operator, because, I can go out and book a whole lot of loads, especially right now. It's easy. You just wait on the phone to ring. But I can't haul any of them. So, that's the simple thing. But, that, and also just the way our owner-operators represent us. Everybody in this office is kind of on the same page as far as we want to be the best. When you hear Oakley, that's the cream of the crop. They're the top of the line. Like, if you're going to go buy the best shotgun, you want the best brand, you want the best trucking brand. We want to be the first name that comes to mind in the bulk business. And we can't do that without good owner-operators. And guys showing up, acting professional and their stuff's clean. That goes a long way in doing that, because a lot of these people we talk to every day, I've never laid eyes on. But some of these owner-operators know them way better than I do, just going in and out of the place, So So that's
good.
That's definitely top of the list for me.
How would you describe, and you did a little bit there, how would you describe an Oakley owner-operator?
First word would be probably steady. You know, a long time ago, even before I was born, Elvis had all these airplanes over at his mansion over in Memphis, and it said TCB on the side with a little lightning flash. And it stood for taking care of business for all you older folks. But that's what comes to mind. You know, these guys every day take care of their stuff, you know, and it's hard. You know, I think back this summer, I went driving on a vacation. I drove 8 hours in one day. Well, the next day, you'd have thought I'd run a marathon.
Yeah.
You know, and these guys get up and do it 5 days in a row or 7 days in a row, you know, and so, you know, the way these guys just show up every day and do their job as good as they do, you know, and they don't get a lot of appreciation. I mean, we appreciate it, but we don't tell it near enough.
Yeah.
You know, we ought to have this appreciation podcast every single day.
I know it.
You know it,
I know
but that's really when I think of our owner-operators, that's what comes to mind, just a steady dude.
Which, okay, the next question, you're pretty good at answering all these before I even get to it.
I'm just trying to lead you in.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. So what do you admire or respect about a truck driver's job?
Well, you know, like earlier, kind of falls in the same deal, you know, just the day in and day out deal, you know, and how hard that can be in any job, you know, showing up every day and having your best. And, you know, with these guys, you know, you're driving a big truck. I mean, you got to be on your game or it's going to be a bad deal, you know, for a bunch of people. You know, also, I admire just the sacrifice, especially the home time. You know, I've got a wife and kids at home, and, you know, it gets tough sometimes missing stuff during the week, and I go home every night, you know. So the guys that are out there that are missing out on kids and grandkids stuff, and, you know, you get home and, you know, we expect you sometimes to go home and leave out the next Sunday night or Monday morning, you know, and there's not a lot of time there for family, and that's probably one thing that I really look up to these guys for.
Yeah, sacrifice
Yeah,
right there for
you
sure.
bet.
Do you have a success story? I know you've been here a long time.
Yeah.
And you've seen a lot of guys come and go. Do you have anything that you would say a success story that you think of off the top of your head?
Well, one thing for sure is just, and there's a lot of them, the guys that have made a career out of this place. And you look at a guy like Jimmy Murphy, a guy like Raymond Carnes, you know, they've been here 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, there's not, the days of people being at jobs for that long are not like it used to be. You know, a lot of people change jobs every few years, you know, or multiple times a year. So that'd be one. You know, I think a guy like Pat Howe, when he first started here, he had high school kids. Well, now he's a grandpa, you know, and he's still working and has worked through all that and managed his business and,
Good point.
you know, still has, you know, family around. But I can think of some others. Jim Brown. Jim Brown's out there listening probably, and I think I mentioned him one time before, but he's kind of my poster child success story, I guess. You know, you never really know when a guy first comes to orientation. You think, well, man, this guy, he was made to work here. And for whatever reason, it doesn't pan out. And there's some guys that show up here and you're like, man, I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah.
Just to be honest, you know. And, you know, Jim Brown's a guy that stuck it out and done all kinds of different things we've asked him to. And, you know, he's had some rough goes with, you know, truck issues or, you know, something else maybe going on or something bothering him. And, you know, but we've built a relationship to where I feel like he trusts us. And I know we trust him to take care of us and do what we need done. And he's been here 10 years maybe.
Yeah.
I meant to look that up before I came in here, but he's been here a long time.
He's definitely a success story, no doubt about it. Done
bet.
a lot of other ones. So also today I've got Scotty Crisco, operations manager, joining me, and we're going to ask him some of these questions too and get some feedback from him. So, hey, Scotty, you doing all right, man?
I'm doing great.
Glad to have
Thanks
you.
for asking.
Yep. Appreciate you coming. I know you've been on here before too, had you?
I have a couple times.
Good,
Yes, sir.
Good. Well, that's good. You just got to outdo these other guys.
That shouldn't be no problem.
Get more screen time. So, a few questions I want to ask you, and like I said, this is Truck Driver Appreciation Week, so just get some feedback from employees in the office, operations, dispatch, and what it means, what truck drivers mean to us. So, first question I got for you is, what do owner operators mean to our business?
Well, just aside from the, just the building blocks of it, that they get freight from point A to point B. I mean, I think the way that Oakley is set up is so unique because I feel as though they have more skin in the game. I think we put more on their plate here at Oakley. I mean, they are recruiters for us. They are obviously drivers for us. I mean, for lack of a better word, sometimes they're friends. I got great relationships with drivers that, I mean, I may shoot the bull with, having nothing to do with work. But you know what I mean? They're our eyes and ears on the road. I mean, a lot of times they are calling in here and telling us stuff that makes our job easier, whether it be directions or site-specific instructions that we might not be aware of. Hell, even upcoming business. A lot of times I've had drivers call in here and point me in the right direction, give me a phone number. Literally, they are so much more than just a driver. I mean, they take a part in everything. Helping gather paperwork. I mean, it's just we hire the cream of the crop here, and we ask that they perform to the above and beyond, and I mean they do.
So with that being said, how would you describe an Oakley owner operator?
I mean, top notch.
Yep.
Top notch. I mean, it doesn't. You can go in any. I recently got back from a trip with my family. We go to the beach every year. It's about a 10.5-hour drive, and we stopped at a couple truck stops just because they're big, easy to park, get gas, and I mean it doesn't take long to look around and really appreciate who we work with day in, day out here with our owner operators. Driving a truck's a hard job. I couldn't do it. Not only do they make a huge financial commitment to buy a piece of equipment, and then they're putting faith in everybody in this office to make sure that that piece of equipment stays busy, and they maximize and squeeze every drop of blood out of that turnip they can.
You take that to heart, don't you?
Oh, I love it. I love the pressure of it. I mean, it's what makes me get up and go to work every day. I love driving to work and wondering what I'm going to do with a truck or how I'm going to help a dispatcher. It's just a challenge.
We all play a part of them being successful, and it feels good when you see success.
Yes, it does. It's very fulfilling. I've had different jobs in the past. I've sold insurance. I've been a school teacher. I've done door-to-door sales, and I mean, I love leaving here because this is a job. I grew up on a farm, and I don't know if it comes from that, but there's something to be said when a grown man does his job, and at the end of the day, he can look and see that something was accomplished.
Yes.
There's something to be said for that, and man, we get that here every day at Oakley.
Yeah. What do you admire or respect about a truck driver's job?
Well, I'm kind of biased because with this answer, I'm going to speak specifically about Oakley truck drivers' jobs. Going back to the truck stop story a while ago, and this is nothing against other truck drivers that pull different types of trailers, but man, there is something about seeing a pneumatic or a shiny dump or, a steel trailer in a truck stop or going down the road. I mean, something about the dry bulk business just gets my blood going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That man is hauling something that somebody needs, It's just, I think it's, I don't know how to say it, but it's kind of like the big leagues.
There you go.
So,
what do you have I know you've been here a long time, you've dispatched a long time. Any success stories that come to your mind off the top of your head?
one in particular, I could think of a couple more. But I used to dispatch a driver named Randall Jones, and I hope he doesn't mind me telling this story. He came over here. Everything was going good for 6 or 7 months, and then the truck that he brought over here kind of took a dump on him. And I remember standing out here in the wet kit bay with him, tears in his eyes, didn't know what to do, thought he was going to have to give it up. But we went to work, and when I say we, I mean everybody, recruiting. I think you guys helped him get into a different truck, and, I mean, that dude, I don't know what he puts in savings every week, but I know he's got he lives down in Florida. He's got a boat. He's got a newer house on a piece of land, you know what I mean? It's awesome to see. We were standing in the wet kit bay, and he was seriously thinking about giving it up, but we didn't give up on him, and he didn't give up on us.
All right, so now I got Nick Dulaney in here with us to talk about Truck Driver Appreciation Week. How you doing, Nick?
Doing good.
Let's start with the first one. Is what do owner-operators mean to our business?
Really, first thing that pops in my head is they're the face of Oakley. They're the boots on the ground out there. They're the first thing that a lot of customers see. They're what our customers think about when they think about Oakley Trucking. They think about our owner-operators. They're in and out of their facilities each day, and, I think that's a big deal, having a good professional look to us, clean equipment. We get a lot of compliments on our guys and their equipment. I think that means a lot.
I think that produces business.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, how would you describe an Oakley owner-operator?
Step above the rest, no doubt about it. Clean cut, professional. That's what pops in my head. New Oakley hat on, shiny trailer, shiny truck, smile on their face.
Yeah, that's the way we see it. I mean, that's a way to see it, I think.
Definitely.
Good. What do you admire or respect about a truck driver's job?
It would have to be, I respect their ability to drive in traffic, navigate through these big cities, and do what they do. I mean, I can barely drive a car or a truck through a major city, and, it just blows my mind that they do that every day. It's second nature to them, and it stresses me out, and they make it look easy out there. So I think that really stands out in my mind.
Yeah. How about a success story? I know you've been here a long time. Dispatch, operations, recruiting, you've done a little bit of everything. And you got any success stories that you think of off the top of your head?
Yeah. One that comes to mind is Brandon Brown. He started back in 2013. I was actually working over in recruiting whenever he started, and I recruited him. He was driving for FedEx from Memphis to North Little Rock back and forth. I think he did 2 runs a day and was doing that on the night shift, and we met up at the truck show up at Louisville. He decided he was going to buy his first truck. He bought a white Freightliner and came over here, was pulling a dump, worked in the dump division for a while. Fast forward to today, he's driving a brand new 379 Peterbilt. I think it may be the second new truck that he's bought since he's been here. He's really done good. Been here a long time. He's got really super sharp truck. I think that just speaks for itself.
Yeah. Brandon Brown, he is a success story, isn't he?
Yep.
Okay, so we're here with Shane Smith, operations manager here at Oakley Trucking. And how long you been here, Shane?
22.
Bam, you've seen a lot. So we got a couple questions here I want to ask you and get your feedback. Question number 1 is, what do owner-operators mean to our business?
Our owner-operators, a lot of times they don't know, Jeremy, but they're the face of Oakley. They mean a lot to us. They're out there. They're in front of our customers. The days on calling on on customers. We talk to a lot of people on the phone. We don't get to see a lot of those people we talk to, but those guys they're our face. They're out there representing us every day, not only themselves but Oakley, in general.
Yeah. Okay, how would you describe an Oakley owner-operator?
Man, I would say my description of the guys that we model here, they're professional guys that are, we hire obviously owner-operators, somebody's got skin in the game. They're going, but, what you talk about and what we talk about in recruiting, clean cut, what we require on our guys. And, kind of leading back to what we talked about in, on the other question that we were talking about, representing face. They're our face for Oakley Trucking. Customer service. And get lots and lots of good compliments on these guys. Yeah. Where we talk about in times past, probably don't share that enough.
What do you admire or respect about a truck driver's job?
Just the dedication to the job and being out. Sometimes these guys, we're more and more into home time, but, we've got guys that stay out a week. We've got guys that stay out 2 weeks. We've got guys that stay out a month at a time. Going out, working and generating that income for what they do, that takes a lot. It means a lot. And we talk about it in here time and time again about, some people doing things that we don't necessarily do ourselves, spending that time away from family to get out and produce that income.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
So next up on the podcast, Truck Driver Appreciation Podcast this week is Mr. Bryan Hill. He's going to share some thoughts with us. How you doing, Bryan?
I'm doing very well.
Glad to have you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you volunteering to do this.
Yes, sir.
So start off with simple question. What do owner-operators mean to our business?
Well, of course, since that's all we hire is owner-operators, it means everything to our business. Without them, we wouldn't have a business. I've been fortunate to be here for 17 years. Got to know a lot of them over the years, and if we did not have them, we wouldn't have grown to where we was. When I was here, I think we started out with 234, maybe 276. We're over 800 now.
Yeah.
Without these guys, we wouldn't have a business.
Isn't that the truth? Amen to that. How would you describe an Oakley owner-operator?
Very respectful gentlemen, hard-working men and women. They're not scared to get out there and get dirty. You ask them to do something, and 99% of the times they're going to give you their whole heart, and they're going to give you everything that they have to make sure it's done right. And they ain't going to stop until it is done right.
What do you admire or respect about a truck driver's job?
Guy gets up on a Monday and leaves out from his family, from having to sleep next to his wife or her husband, stays out there for 5 days, 7 days, 14 days, a month. They don't see their family. They might talk to them once or twice a day, but they don't get to touch them and see them every single day. If I didn't get to see my wife every day, I'd probably die.
Yeah.
So that to me holds the most respect of anything that I can throw out there now. Hard working, of course, that's just a given with any truck driver 99% of the time. But these men and women, they get up every week and they leave to go make sure their family's provided for. And that's pretty respectful.
And you got to leave what you're working for.
Absolutely.
That'd be hard to do, wouldn't it?
You ain't kidding. Absolutely.
Yeah. You got any success stories? I know you've been here a while and you've done a lot of dispatching and stuff. Do you got anybody off the top of your head, a couple of people that you've seen be successful over here at Oakley?
Jared Jelks, one of them. Jared Jelks has been here, I think, almost 2 years. When he started out here, really didn't have too much of anything. Did everything he could to make a penny. Now he's out here buying new trucks. He's been with Oakley 2 years, Bought a brand new boat about 3 weeks ago, so pumped. He moved to Little Rock and got an apartment where he was just living in his truck. That's pretty successful, if you ask me.
That's successful.
Yes, sir.
He's a good story.
He is a great man. Yeah.
Any other ones you can think of?
Gilbert Wright, he's been with me probably longest. Him or Larry Childers been with me for, I think we've decided with both of them in between 13 and 15 years. I've seen them buy 2 or 3 trucks, 4 trucks over the years, seen their families grow, see Gilbert getting to adopt a baby for him and Elizabeth. Their kids are out of the house. They have grandkids, but they're successful enough that they can go adopt a kid and make sure this kid's raised right. That's pretty successful also.
How do you think these guys become successful?
To be honest with you, they just believe in what we do. I think they buy into it early, and they've noticed whenever things go down, Oakley doesn't go down. We keep these guys going, and if they're pretty good bookkeepers, they can see the numbers every year. They know what it's all about, and it's went up for them every year that they've ever been here. So generally that keeps them staying, and I think that makes them successful over the years.
What do owner-operators mean to our business here at Oakley?
We got to have good owner-operators. They make us a living, and, they in turn make themselves a good living.
How would you describe an Oakley owner-operator?
Well, that depends on who I'm looking at, Jeremy.
I understand.
But
in general,
they got to have strong shoulders for one, because they deal with a lot out there on the road. As an ex-driver, today compared to when I was out there, just dealing with the traffic in general, it's really got to take a toll on these guys. And but it's good to have a good sense of humor, especially when you're out there driving and having to deal with a lot of these idiots out there, and there's a fair share of them. And but just dealing with things in general, like truck stops, finding a good place to eat, good showers, and good roads.
Kind of answers the next question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What do you admire or respect about a truck driver's job?
The willingness for him just to get up and do it every day.
Yeah.
Because it's not an easy task. And that's a pretty well proven fact. You got guys out there that really take pride in what they're doing. They take pride in their equipment, and they take pride with our equipment. So, that says a lot in itself. And those are the guys we need, and those are guys that I see they're successful here.
Speaking of that, I know you've been here a long time. Anybody come to the top of your mind when you think of success? How they started here, and now, they've been here, and they are a successful story at Oakley Trucking.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that came and gone too. I just think people that's retired here. What always comes to mind, my old favorites, Monty Lee.
Yeah.
Old Greedy. He did very well here. And Mary Luker. She was another success story here. Greg Williams. He's a good one. Greg's been with us for 20 plus years, and I think he's done very well here. He buys a new truck, seems like every 3-4 years. And we have a lot of guys that do that, and in order to do that, you got to manage it like a business, and that's what makes you successful here.
So, Mr. Barnett.
Yes, sir.
A couple of questions. What do Oakley owner-operators mean to our business?
Well, Jeremy, they mean a lot. I know you can look amongst all the departments here, and I think it's just a collective group of everyone performing top tier in each department that they're in, whether that be operations or your department recruiting, accounting, safety, but most importantly, the owner-operators themselves, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do our jobs here.
Amen. How would you describe an Oakley owner-operator?
When I think of an Oakley owner-operator, I think of a top-tier individual, someone who takes pride in their appearance, their work ethic, the equipment, whether that be their truck and our trailer. And I think that kind of relates to in-office personnel too. Whenever an owner-operator takes so much pride in their job, it kind of helps us take pride in ours as well.
Yeah. So what do you admire or respect about a truck driver's job?
I admire their dedication to the industry, their willingness to wake up every day, a lot of times away from their family for extended periods of time, and work the hours that they do.
Got to be self-motivated.
You do, yes, sir.
You've been here a couple of years now, right?
I have, yes, sir.
You got any success stories in your time here that you maybe know of any owner-operators that started when you started, or you've recognized, or that are a success story here at Oakley?
Jeremy, I can't think of one that comes to mind, but I know that we do build good rapport with most of our owner-operators, the ones that call in, but even more so the ones we don't really hear about, the ones that have been here for 10, 15 years, and you know of them, you just don't hear from them, so they're conducting their business, getting their job done.
So owner-operators, if you ever doubted that we appreciated you, I hope that tells you right there that Oakley Trucking appreciates what you do for us. Have a good Truck Driver Appreciation Week. We appreciate you. Hey, once again, thanks for listening to the Oakley Podcast every week. We appreciate y'all. Be sure and like us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and spread the word about the Oakley Podcast, trucking business and family. Thanks.